I'm loving this. I anticipate Fridays for real. Like Fridays is the thing. So if y'all are not following me on Instagram, make sure y'all click my Instagram. Where is it at? Over there. Click on my profile and tap on my Instagram and follow me on Instagram because Friday Eve is what I call it. Friday Eve. I get so excited on Friday Eve because I know that the next day is Saturday. The next day is Saturday. When I wake up the next morning, it will be Saturday morning, and I'm gonna be tapping in right here, waiting for y'all to get here with me. So if you loving being here with me, if you loving being here with me, just tap on them sunflowers, cause I'm that sunflower girl. I'm that sunflower girl. That's what I call myself. So I'm that sunflower girl. I got my sunflower necklace on today, so y'all see that I'm trying to bring in the sunshine. I'm trying to bring in the sunshine. Y'all bringing the sunshine in with me? Bring the sunshine in with me with them sunflowers. Come on now. Happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday. What's the date? February the 18th. Oh, and this is my fifth show. I'm so happy that you guys are here to be with me on my show today, Divine Living with um, Miss Divine. So today's show is all about the financial wellness dimension. Every Saturday, you join me here. We're talking about um, keeping the vow. Some people may wonder, what is the vow? The vow is your personal vision of wellness, your personal vision of wellness. So anytime you see VOW from me, it's representing the vision of wellness. And your personal vision of wellness is what this is all about. So every single Saturday, we're tapping into the 8 dimensions of wellness. Some of y'all might be like, what are the 8 dimensions of wellness, Miss Divine? So I'm going to tell you right now. The 8 dimensions of wellness are emotional, spiritual, environmental, intellectual, physical, social, occupational, and today's vision of wellness that we're tapping into today is all about the financial wellness dimension. Financial wellness dimension. Anybody here with me last week? Was anybody here with me last week? Who was here with me last week? Who was here with me last week? If you wasn't, I'm going to tell y'all what y'all missed. Last week, we talked about the occupational wellness dimension. We had 2 awesome guests, and every so often, you guys, I will have our art of sound because I believe what you bring, what you listen to, them ear gates control a lot of our being. A lot of our being. So, our ear gates are extremely important. I have a segment every so often here on my show called The Art of Sound. So, if you missed it, you missed it last week because Lex the Gentleman was here last week bringing his own art of sound with spoken word. So it doesn't happen every single episode, but it was last week. So if you missed it, you missed it. But you can always see what's happening with me on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, y'all. Follow me on Instagram because I'll be posting stuff on Instagram and I need y'all to follow me there. All right. So if my guests can go ahead and hit that box, let me know. I know y'all here. I know y'all here. I'm so excited about the guests that are here today. So super excited about the guests that are here today. I've known every last one of them probably as long as almost as long as I've known what live is all about. So that's why I'm super excited about these 3 people joining me today. These are some good friends of mine, some good friends of mine, some good friends of mine that's going to be teaching us, showing us, and presenting to us all about the financial wellness dimension. But before we get started, I like to start a little thing with you each and every single time to let you know what this is all about. Let you know what this is all about. And I just call it my ode. This is my ode to the day. Create your vision of wellness, a personal vow to yourself. designed to help you before you help anyone else. Speak your vow, meditate on it day and night. Your thoughts become actions. You can do it right. Be your vow because being is what we are, and being well is what we do here. This is all about being well. We're not getting well. We're not getting well here. We're being well. It's all about what we are. And it's your personal vow, not mine, not what I say you are, but yours. Your personal vow to yourself. So that's what this is all about. I'm going to bring our guest in, y'all. I'm going to bring our guest in. I'm super excited. So we have three awesome guests. One guest right now that's coming in for sure, is going to introduce our other two guests. And that's none other than Top Badge Shimmer. Come on through, Shimmer. Come on through. Come on through. Hello. Hello. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Miss Divine's future featured spotlight show. Listen, I want to say hello to everybody. I know I didn't say nothing in the chat. I am a little tired, but I am here for her. This woman is amazing. If you haven't already changed that star from white to yellow, go ahead and change it right now. I want you to go ahead and be up in there, be up in here. Because without you, there is no us, there is no team. We can all make it. Let's go. I am honored. I am honored. I am honored. Can somebody say honored? I am honored to be asked to help introduce these two phenomenal speakers on finance today in this room. Listen, these two people, the male and the female, mean so much to me as professionals and as well as friends. You can't call everybody a friend. You can't call everybody a professional. I see both in both of them. I will first introduce the ladies first. Just Danny Bay. B, and that's with all caps. Capital B, capital A, capital E. Listen, people, I say this all the time in my room, the queendom. Don't kick people out when they don't say nothing. This woman was in my room for 6 months before she spoke one word to me. I didn't know that. Guess what? She became my number one gifter for 2 years. You don't know what that means. And then we have yet a better bond that you could never believe and nobody can break. And I'm just going to leave that right there. This woman is in the financial industry as a professional. She has done a couple impromptu segments about finance. You can ask her questions. Don't sit there and use her up. You got to take care of her too. Listen, her name is Just Danny. She's coming to the box. And alongside her, the gentleman of the hour that's going to reign as well. His name is Man of Steel. This man is dynamic. He will talk to you. He will listen to you. And he will work with you. He's also going to give you some little nuggets and nibits, something for you to take back and help put in your everyday life. You know, you can use them in professional, you can use them in your private. Take heed of what this man says. This man sends us quotes of the day very, very often. You never know when they're coming, but they're all so needed. So I want to welcome my bae, capital B, capital A, capital E, Just Danny. And then the guy I always can say, and can't everybody say it, my friend, Man of Steel.
You right about that.
Thank you so much, Shimmer. Thank you.
I'll be in the corner.
Welcome, Danny. Welcome, Man of Steel. Just Danny. Y'all can always find her as Just Danny. I didn't. Shimmer just ran away before we could even really say too much. But thank you, Shimmer. Thank you, Shimmer, for introducing my guest this morning. I greatly appreciate your sacrifice. I know that staying up early in the morning and getting up early in the morning, because Danny's up super early, early in the morning, um, to be here is a real sacrifice. So I appreciate all three of you for being here this morning. Yes, thank you so much. Just Danny, since Shimmer answered or introduced you first, go ahead and tell everybody what you doing here, what's going on with you somewhere else, or just let us know who you are. She said who you are to her. Tell us who you are in these streets.
In these streets, I'm her bae, not for real. But yeah. So of course I am just Danny. I think I've been on here since like 2018 and really didn't talk to a lot of people, but that's where you can find me on my page. Do I stream that much like I used to? No, you might find me in more of Shimmer or Man of Steel's live than anything, because that's where they always live. So I'm always over there. So I always show support and I'm always there. But where you can find me is basically on my TikTok. I am like the content creator. I am the dancer. I am the TikToker. Yeah, you can find me over there. Like, I'm sorry, but I am a financial advisor. I've been in the industry going on 12 years. Business owner as well. I don't know, just I'm doing me. I'm loving and enjoying this life. So that's just Danny. That's why I say it's just Danny. There's nothing about me. I'm just Danny, but I'm raw to the T.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Man of Steel, tell everybody who you are, what you got going on, what's happening with you in these streets.
Well, I've been on here since 2019, something like that, 18, something like that. I'm a multiple business owner. Started my first business in 2012. Um, I currently have two now. Um, One is in skincare, and the other one is in distribution. So that's pretty much it. All I do is work. Y'all already know. All I do is work, work, work. I usually do 18-hour days, but that's pretty much it. It's pretty much it. I've done businesses from landscaping companies to the two businesses that I have now. So I'm just gonna
Awesome.
get my input for people that actually want to start a business and how they want to save money and how they can build money. So
Awesome. So I know that both of you are the experts, the gurus to all of this. And that's exactly why I asked you both to be with me today. So there will be a portion that I'm just going to kind of let you guys do what you do. But I do have a few questions for you today, and hopefully we can all glean a little from all of this. Um, when we talk about financial wellness, there many people are apprehensive of even talking about what financial wellness is. I know that it's not my top dimension, not that it's my lowest dimension either, but because of that, a lot of people just kind of run away or shy from it. So, one of the things that is often talked about in financial wellness is being able to set a budget and stick to a budget. Do you think that this is an important factor to financial wellness? Or, and if you do or don't, let me know how you feel on that. Either one can start, however you feel. It's a question to
okay,
both of you.
okay, I'll make a comment briefly. I talked to Danny, and I thought of a theme based on everything I was going to talk about, and this is actually was going to be y'all quote today. Okay, and the quote of the day was going to be: sometimes the answer is not no, the answer is yes, but not yet. That's what
Okay.
savings is a lot of times. Sometimes it's not no, it's just not yet. The answer is yes. You know, to be able to save money, you have to have like everything else: focus, consistency, and discipline. You have to have those three things when you're trying to do anything. But definitely with money, You got to believe that the things that you want to have, you can actually obtain them. They're not as hard as you think they are. When I go through the numbers a little later, most of you guys are close to 100,000 at least a year. You just haven't realized it yet. Most of you are close to $100,000 a year. You just haven't realized it yet. But those three things is very important when it comes to saving and investing and everything else. You have to have focus, you have to have consistency, you have to have discipline. And you can have whatever you want if you have those three things. You can't have two out of three because all of them they coincide with each other. So you got to have those three.
Basically, I
Before
can say
before you
I
chime
agree.
in, before you chime in real quick, Danny, I wanted to let you guys know today is the day that you need your notepad and your smooth writing pen because there's going to be some awesome nuggets that's going to be dropped all during the show. And if you missed it, you missed it. So I got my pen. I got my smooth writing pen. I got my smooth writing pen. And I'm taking notes. So y'all do the same. Go ahead, just Danny.
Just that piggyback. I love what he said. So yes, if you don't have those three characters within you, it's going to be very hard to budget. And if you don't know how to budget, how are you going to teach your offspring how to budget?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely need to know how to budget. And if you don't know how to budget, definitely get with me or Man of Steel. We can teach you how to budget.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So when it comes to budgeting and saving, how important is it to actually have a savings account and to put money into that savings account?
I'll let the bankers do that.
Okay, so let me explain this because I'll break it all the way down to you. It is very important to have a savings account, and if you don't have one, you better get one. Okay, don't have your savings account at home where you can easily access that money. Don't do it, because that is where people say, oh, it's at home. But then guess what? You're writing in the drawer or you somewhere else grabbing that savings and you spending it because it's easy, accessible to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, go ahead and put it into the bank where you can earn some kind of interest, or even on an online bank. You know what I mean? What that does not have a brick or mortar, but savings is very important. And let me just, what I did for me and my kid, and I'm gonna just teach you this. Oh, this is some free game, boy, I tell you. All right. Let's see, what can you do? Best interest return. Yeah, basically. So here's the thing. If you are a person who lives, because you got people that live from check to check, right? They don't have money to just be like, oh, I can take this money and I can just go throw it into a savings account. But guess what? You can still save. Do you know how much, like, say, I'm gonna just hypothetically, you get paid every 2 weeks. Okay, because that's the majority of people get paid every 2 weeks. So if you get paid every 2 weeks and say just Friday, just past Friday, this Friday, you got paid. This was your bill time. So I got to pay all my bills down. But after you didn't pay your bills down, you got like $250 left. Okay, you don't get paid for another 2 weeks. So then what you gonna do? So that $250 you didn't drop down because you needed gas. You need to do a little something else. So now you didn't have $150. By the time it's time for you to get paid again, whatever was left on that Friday of payday, you need to move that money over to a savings account. I don't care if that was $150, if it was $75, but guess what? That $75 can move over to a savings account and you don't see it. Your next paycheck, you do the same process. By the time you really think of it, you've saved way more money than you would have if you would have just been like, oh, I'm gonna keep it in this account. But every time you keep it into your checking account, you spend more. Every time it's in your checking, you spend more. So move that money over to a savings account that you're not gonna touch. My savings account is not even with the bank that I deal with my checking account with at all whatsoever. You know why? Because I don't want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So my savings account is at one bank. My checking account is right here at this bank where I have to pay my bills, where I got to do what I got to do. But I move that money right on over to a savings account at another bank and it stays right there. Do I see it? I see it. Do I touch it? Nah. I don't touch it at all. So if you do that process, 9 times out of 10, you would know like, damn, I really just move money and you ain't paid attention. And then you could be like, damn, I am saving. Teach your kids how to do the same process. The same process when they get paid, because you already know how kids are too. What do kids do? They go blow all their money. Then they be like, hey, I need some more money, or I need this, I need that. Teach them from the beginning when they get that job. You got this left over in your account. Let's move that over to your savings account.
Right.
My daughter had a savings account at the age of 8 years old, when you legally can get a young savers account. As long as they're able to write their name on that little signature card, they can have a savings account. Stop shortchanging your kids too. Get them a savings account and let them start and know how to build, how to save. That is so important. And if you don't have a savings account, how are you going to teach your kid?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Awesome.
I have a savings account too, but it's in another bank. I don't even have a bank card for it.
Nope.
I don't need a bank card for it because it's not meant to be moved. It's not meant to be touched. So I don't even have a bank card for it. You know, also you got to look at the percentage. You look at everything that you have to pay for the month and how much you get paid for the month. And I usually take 20% of whatever's left and spend that. That's it. If I want to spend more than 20%, I got to make more money. So that money will go up. But I take 20%. So if I have 5,000 left for the month, 20% of that will go to whatever I want to do or need to do. And it doesn't mean I spend all 20%. I closed a deal for $7,000. I bought a $25 watch. That was it. So you don't have to spend the max of what your percentage is, but that's what you want to allot yourself to spend. You see what I'm saying? And you keep 80%. It's no different than business. In business, you want to make 300% profit. That's how it works. Take $5 that make a product. To make a product, you want to charge $15. Why 15? Because you want to take 5 of that 15, replace the product you sold. You take the other 5 and put that back into the business, and then you take the last 5 and put it in your pocket.
Right.
If you only charge $10 for it, you're not making any money. You're just replacing the unit you sold, and you're putting money back into the business. Or if you're putting that 5 back into your pocket, your business is not growing because you're not putting the money in.
Yeah.
So it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game, but you got to look at every other thing. Everything start small and grow large. Whenever you don't put that savings somewhere where you can't touch it and you pay no attention to it, you provide shortcuts for yourself. And then you just dig a bigger hole. I'll tell you like this. There's a guy with Warren Buffett. When he started Hathaway, guy gave him $10,000 to invest. $10,000. Never looked at it. He just gave him $10,000 because he believed in Warren Buffett. He didn't even know what he was doing. He believed in the person. Because those are 3 different types of investments too: product, person, and vision. But he gave him $10,000. 30 years later, he forgot about it. He went to go check it. It was $1 billion. $1 billion. He gave him 10,000.
Wow.
Don't touch the money. Do not touch the money. Have discipline to say, don't try to feel better. Do better. That's the most important thing. When you do better, you feel better. If you keep focusing on feeling better, you will never do better because you're never going to feel great every day. Never. But you can say, I only got $50 left. I'm going to go buy a bottle of Hennessy and some Black & Milds or whatever it is. Yeah, you'll feel good that day. But then you need gas next week to get to work. So don't worry about feeling better. When you do better, you will feel better. You're never going to feel great all the time. So make sure you're doing better in order to feel better, not the other way around.
And I'm gonna pick one more thing to say to that is, if you are a person that don't have the discipline to not walk into a bank to touch that money, then you need an online bank, because then you ain't gonna be able to get to it at all, because they're gonna make it very hard for you to get that money online. Whoo! And then so you can go ahead and do the online bank while the other people that got discipline can do the banks that are local. Like my bank is literally, I gotta drive 45 minutes to go to that certain bank, that savings account at. I don't even want to make that 45-minute drive, so I definitely just won't go, okay, at all, whatsoever. So all I say is, if you do put anything into a savings account, the one thing you can take away from that is, please make sure you do a deposit or a withdrawal. I don't care what it is, once a year. Once a year. And I tell you this because that is the banker in me. Once a year, I've seen so many people where they accounts get escheated to the state. And if you don't know what escheatment means, Lord Jesus, is when the government can come take your money if it's been sitting in an account for so long with no activity. Okay, so it gets escheated to the state, and then you got to claim it at the state level. So I have always made a deposit. My deposits go in twice a month. So there is activity. If you're a person that just leaves money and just let it stay there and there's no activity, trust me, it's going to go inactive. Then it's going to go dormant. Once it goes that, give it 3 years, it's escheated to the state.
Wow.
Okay, so just be mindful of that as well.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. You have joined me, Miss Divine, with Divine Living with Miss Divine. I'm here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. talking about the 8 dimensions of wellness. Y'all may ask, what are the 8 dimensions of wellness? Well, they are emotional, spiritual, environmental, intellectual, physical, social, occupational, and today is all about the financial wellness dimension. I have 2 awesome guests, Just Danny and Man of Steel, who are gurus in this financial wellness dimension. I'm so excited for with them being here today. And if you haven't already, it's not too late to grab your notebook, a piece of paper, or something, and a pen, because these nuggets that they dropping today, OMG, everybody's gonna need them. So if you have a lot of money coming in or a little money coming in, these nuggets are extremely important for you today. All right, so we talked a little about savings accounts and things of that nature. Go ahead, Just Danny.
Just real quick, because somebody said something, but it was Slim. So Slim had said this just real quick. Teach them to set it up through their employer. A set amount can auto deposit each paycheck. That's true. And I just wanted to answer that. That is true. However, that's set up to that savings account direct deposit. It can still get escheated to the state. And I'll tell you the why. Because that's just it's a direct deposit. They don't know if you can die. And a direct deposit can still be going in. And they don't know about it. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I say you need to physically put that money in so they know that somebody is still living because you physically put that money into a savings account. A direct deposit does not mean you're still living. So just want to give you that info because I've seen it so many times. A direct deposit does not still mean that you are still breathing. Okay. Just let you know.
Thank you. So I read a little something that talked about having a banking account, not having a banking account, and the importance of that. But it also talked about looking at your bank statement, because a lot of us are so accustomed to having that debit card and we swiping. Now we tapping, you don't even have to swipe anymore. You're tapping and you never look at the statement. Tell me, now I remember back in the day, like my parents were check writers. So they would sit down at the kitchen table and actually look over the bank statement and do all, the reconciliations and all that kind of stuff. How important is it to actually look at your bank statement?
Very important. Let me tell you something. The people who still look at a check register and put everything in a check register are the people that are less likely to be scammed and to be defrauded. And I'm gonna just be very honest because they pay attention. Okay. When you are just the swiper and you're always swiping and I work for a bank, so I see this all the time. So I can get a client say, I had one just last week, $5,000 is out of this man's account. Within a 6-month period, you've never checked your statements. You've never paid attention. And it's because the fraudsters got you by little within 6 months. They didn't do it in big chunks because they know it'd probably be alerted, right? Because you'd be checking that balance. But if you're a business person and you're not really paying attention, or even a personal, it's crazy that so much money can be depleted out of somebody's account and you don't know. Why? Because you don't log in. I roll over every morning. If I'm not on the computer, I roll in. Let me check it. It takes you 5 seconds to log into your account just to make sure you good. That's all it is. 5 seconds of your time to check your account every day. Roll over in the morning. Okay, we good. That's the same balance from yesterday. Okay, good. But once that money is gone, that becomes more of a problem because it's going to be hard to get it back. And they will hit you with small increments so you won't notice. And then once the big number hit, you're like, damn, I'm missing like $5,000. Well, over 6 months. Visa regulation is this. Visa says you got 60 days as a personal client, this is just a consumer, to dispute your shit. After 60 days, they're going to decline majority of every fucking thing else that's going to come that way. So you're going to get 60 days and the rest they're going to say it was your fault because you should have paid attention to your account. A business owner, you got 24 hours.
Yeah.
You got 24 hours to dispute something. And if you don't see that shit in 24 hours, guess what? And people think it's the bank. It's us. Let me tell y'all something, because people get mad at us, right? You just declined my stuff.
I know you keeping it real, but because people need to hear it real, but don't keep it too real. Yeah.
That part of the language, yeah. But look,
got some soap.
You know, I get into it.
I know.
But, now see, I got thrown off. But what I'm going to say is this.
Sorry.
You're fine. Man, hurtful. Look, he says I check my business account every 12 hours. That's a good part of it, sister, is check it. But you need to check it more often than just 12 hours. And that's just me. I forgot what I was going to say. So, Manistil, you want to piggy off of that real quick?
No. Go ahead, Manistil, jump in. I'm turning the rope. Come on.
Oh, well, thank you, Real. Thank you, Real.
I check mine every maybe 3 to 4 hours. I check it, especially if I got a lot of activity going on. It's a lot of sales. I'm sitting there talking to people. Every time I pick up my phone or I open my laptop or look at my laptop, I keep that window sitting up at the top and I just check it. Take 3 seconds. Just click it, refresh. Okay, cool. Because it is easy to steal in increments. And it's harder to prove, especially if it's a group of people stealing from. So then you got to investigate where this come from. Who are they? Okay, investors, where they come. It's really hard to do. So I check every 3 to 4 hours. Sometimes more than that. If I got a lot of activity going that day, if I got a lot of money going out, I got a lot of money coming in, I'm constantly checking. You can check TikTok every few minutes. You can check your bank account.
Ooh.
If you can check to see who live, you can check your bank account. Don't distrust that people going to do the right thing and make sure you get your money back. That's why what Mr. Nobody said was, what he said was good. It was like, well, I don't deal with my debit card, I use credit cards. I'm like, okay, that's cool. It's very disciplined with credit cards. Danny going to touch on that in a minute. But it's good with credit cards because that's their money. You earn your money through your debit card. That's their money. You have to dispute their money. You get your check and you get $2,000, $3,000 on your check. Now you got to fight to get your money back that you earned.
That part.
I don't use my debit card nowhere. Nowhere. Yeah, absolutely. So now that's their money that somebody tried to scam, not your own personal money. And they'll be more inclined to fight for you if it's their money and find out what happened. So you need to be careful when you're using your debit cards. It's a lot of scams out there at the gas stations, all of that. They used to have chips in the gas and the credit card slot at the gas station. So as soon as you put your card in, it gets your chip, and then when you pull it out, they already got your information. So it's a lot of they got apps out now. Them guys at Home Depot, X, Y, and Z sitting out there, they got apps on their phones, some of them. And when you drive past, it'll pick up your chip. So you have to be careful. I always tell people, lock your card. Lock it. Lock your card. You don't have nothing going on right now. You don't lock your card. Why leave it unlocked? Lock it. I don't care if it's a Cash App card. I don't care if it's a PayPal card, whatever. Lock it. I'm telling you. So you have to be very careful, but stay on top of your finances. Stay on top of it. I'm telling you. Like I said, I'm gonna go through some specific numbers in a little bit. A lot of you guys are so close to financial freedom. If you're not already, you don't even realize it's right there. It's right there. But I'm gonna break the numbers down to show you how close you actually are to making six figures.
Well, he say lock. You said lock it, right, boy? I tell you, I'm so glad you said lock because my credit cards and everything is locked right now because I'm at home chilling. Like, so why are they open, right? I love that. Like, I wasn't even gonna think about that. I'm glad you said that because mine is locked. So yes, he is right. Lock it. You sitting at home right now, you watching us, is your credit cards open? Lock it. There shouldn't be no reason. You're not going nowhere. You're not doing nothing. I tell that people all the time. Oh, but what I was gonna say is don't be mad at the bank when your disputes are declined. Be mad at Visa because see, we're just the middleman. We are the people that take your disputes. We send them over to Visa. Visa has the final say if they're giving that money back or not. It is not the bank. It is Visa because we are contracted with them. We have to deal with them to get that money back. So that's what I wanted to say as well. But yes, please lock your cards. And when we talk about which cards to use when you're doing things, I never take my debit card outside at all whatsoever. I don't even use my debit card online to make a purchase. I'm going to use my credit online. I have one credit card, and I'll be honest, y'all ain't going to see everything. But look, one credit card is for online. One credit card is for outside. So I don't know which one or what site I was doing to make sure I can stay on point of the charges I'm making, right? One credit card is online, one credit card is here. And once I get that, then I'll go ahead and pay that off with my bank account. But all the time, please try to use your credit cards outside. You got people that are scanners that'll walk right by you. They got a scanning machine, a device right in their pockets and their purses. They can walk right by you and you can be scanned. You be thinking you got defrauded online or at the store when it was just somebody simply walking right by you. So if you don't have like
credit card, when
I'll show y'all. Like if you don't have like the credit card case, I think I got it. Hold on.
Credit card. If you traveling, credit card. It's nothing worse than going to another state or going to another country. You on a cruise or something like that. If something happens with your own money, you use a credit card when you're traveling.
You see this? This metal right here. I take this with me when I go outside. You ain't getting through that. You ain't about to scan it. It looks all lovely in our purses. We could throw this right in our purse and keep your card right here. But just because we put it in our wallet don't mean anything. This is exactly what I take out when I go out, and I'll throw this right in my purse. You're not getting through that.
Yeah, don't keep it in your bra. Your bra not gonna stop it. All right, put it in something else.
This was online. So I got this actually online.
Awesome. Y'all, look, we here. It's Saturday morning. Making Miss Divine your new Saturday routine is extremely important because I know y'all getting some nuggets today. This is Divine. This is Divine Living with Miss Divine. We're here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. talking about the 8 dimensions of wellness. Today's dimension is all about financial wellness. My two awesome guests have already given y'all some awesome nuggets, and I'm just gonna let them freestyle it right now. I know they got some key points that they want to leave you with. I don't have any more questions right now. They're gonna freestyle it and drop y'all some knowledge today. So whoever desires to go first, y'all go ahead and get it and tell these people what they need to know.
Okay. What we probably can do is bounce off each other because we talked about this. A lot of stuff I wanted to say, you would need to know as far as banking, what you need to do, and then vice versa. So I want to start with this. When I talk about a lot of people are close to making six figures, how many of you guys make at least 200 a day on average? 200, 220 on average. What's your job? At least. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less.
Due dates and billing.
You do?
Okay.
Okay, great. Do you know that it's only $273 on average a day to make 100,000?
Say that
only
again.
$273. $273 and some change on an average every day is $100,000 a year. You can do that with Uber. You can do that with DoorDash. You can do that if you do hair, if you cut hair, whatever it is to make up that difference on average a day, you made $100,000 a day. That's how close it is. You make candles, whatever it is, your cash outs, whatever it is. $273 and change on an average a day for a year is $100,000. That's how close you are. See, because if you knew how to make $1 million, you'll do that tomorrow. If you know how to make 1,000, 100,000, you'll do that tomorrow. You have to look at how much do I need to make an hour? How much do I need to make a day, a week, a month? And then you can start working towards making 100,000. You know, in business, it's very important to manage your money and to pay attention to what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? It's very, very, very important. A lot of times we look at a bunch of money. Let me give y'all a story for me. I spent about $120,000 in about 4 months. 120,000. I was about 25. 25, because I kept looking at the large number and wasn't calculating everything I was taking out. Every time I went to the bank, I got the max out, $750. Every time I went to the ATM, $750. I was so bad, I would do it at 11 and then wait till 12 o'clock hit and take another $750 out. That's how bad it was. I took so much money out. In 4.5 months, I had like $800 left. And all I had to show for it was a new car with the rims and the system and the tent and all of that, X, Y, Z, that end up getting repoed. The car only cost $15,000 because of my credit. It was a new car. $15,000. Instead of just buying it, I said, man, I'm gonna finance it. I can keep most of my money. I put $5,000 there. And within 4 months of having $100 and some thousand, I had no more money, and that car got repoed when I could have bought 5 of them. Because I wasn't watching my money. I was looking and saying, I got $100,000. I'll take 100. I'll take 1,000 out. I'll go to the bank, get another 3,000. Man, I got $97,000 left. Next thing you know, you're going on a shopping spree. You're helping people get their car fixed. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're doing this. Next thing you know, 2 months, you're like, I got $43,000 left. Where all that money go? It went to eating at the best places and not having money come in. Just spending and just spending and just spending. You know, even as a business owner, for any of you guys that want to be a business owner, you know what I mean? As far as you being in banking for so long, what's the best type of account you should have, especially if you have an LLC, to actually open up an account for your business?
Accounting. Of course, it's going to be, if you have an LLC, so it's two different, you already know how LLCs work. You can either be a single member LLC, or you can be an S Corp, C Corp, you got all these things going on. But if you are a single member LLC, you're still treated as a sole prop. We already know that, right? So at the end of the day, I had to, like me with my LLC, me and my son, we're the managing members. I didn't want to be a single member LLC. You're not about to treat me like a sole member. It ain't happening. So just make sure that you're opening up an LLC, S Corp or C Corp, which one you want. Are you going to pay yourself out or are you not going to pay yourself out? That's how you differentiate if it's going to be an S Corp or a C Corp. Which one are you doing? If you are paying yourself out as an employee, you are an S Corp. All the way around. If you're not going to pay yourself out as an employee, then you need to go ahead and go to a C Corp. But that's just how you need to do it. But you need to make sure everything is in order. You can do it yourself. Please stop paying all these people all this money online to create your LLC for you. I've seen so many mistakes with that. Be careful and just be wise. Add multiple people on the LLC. You can go to the bank and get funding. I don't know about the funding part all the time, but so here's the thing when it comes to funding, a lot of banks don't want to fund an LLC. They rather fund a nonprofit than an LLC. And that's because they get that money back at the end of the year. So if you're a nonprofit, they're going to definitely fund you way faster than dealing with an LLC at any time. Adding multiple people to an LLC, you got to be careful on that too, right? Because if you don't have a contract back behind that, adding that person, you can go into some issues, financial issues with that partner that you added to your account. Yeah, that part. I trust my son. So that's okay. Now we're talking about trust, because you can say, oh, that's my homie. I'm about to, man, we going in business together, and then your homie then screwed you over. We could talk all day about that. Yeah, no. So yes, I added my son because I know I fully trust my son. What's her name? Sister said something real quick too. She said to talk about 2 due dates in billing. Whew. So I want to just drop down on that real quick because she asked for it. So the 2 due dates in billing, if you don't know, you have 2 due dates. You have the date that bill is actually due, and you have the date that you're going to pay it. Okay? Those are the 2 due dates. If your bill says it is due on the 27th of February, let's just say your statement cut and it said it's due on the 27th, because most statements when they cut, they're usually due between 25 days from that statement cut date. That's when those credit card bills or whatever statements, that is when it's due. 25 days after that. So if it says you're due on the 27th, baby, you better pay that by the 15th. That's your due date. You don't tell them when, you don't let them dictate when you're going to pay that. You pay it way before that. That's a good reflection on you and your credit, not just when they tell you to do it. So that is what she's talking about when it comes to the 2 due dates, is that what they gave you and what you're going to pay and when you're going to pay it.
Now, let me ask you another question. As far as credit, because a lot of people, they mistake what actually affects their credit and what can improve their credit. Because I used to be like that years ago. I'm like, oh, Xfinity, let me go ahead and pay them. Credit go down. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand how credit actually work. You know, so you being in that field, you know, maybe you should give the basics of how actually credit work for people that may be in the comments that don't want to ask a question that seem like, you know, they don't want to feel like they're embarrassed or whatever the case. You know, and then I'll give y'all my personal story, what I did with my credit.
So let's just say this. When I'm looking at somebody applying for credit and I'm reviewing your credit application and I can see your debt to income ratio and all of these things and what you have out there, I don't care about T-Mobile, Sprint. I don't care about those bills. I don't care that you have them on your report. I really don't care. I'm looking at your loans, your credit cards. I'm looking at if you maxed it out. Where is it sitting at? If you're only using 30%, 20, that's what I am looking at when I'm looking at your credit to see if I'm going to give you a loan. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to, is your loans, your cars, your house, all of that. I'm not caring about your utility bill. So you can pay that all day. I don't care. Okay, that's not what the bank is going to be paying attention to. They're paying attention to a lot of things. Let me tell you something. And this is what I've seen a lot when people come to me to dispute something. Just because you dispute an item and you remove a loan and you owe it, and you know you owe it, baby, you still got to pay it. Just because they remove it off don't mean nothing. Don't mean nothing. And that's what people don't understand. And I've seen this so many times where people ask, well, they coming after me this way. It's okay. See, this is the problem people don't understand, is you got people that have, oh, I did do the car repo. I did do the loans. I went to school for it, but I don't want to pay it. Okay, fine. So you went through the whole dispute process. We got it removed. All of that thing does not say you don't owe it, because guess what? Now they're going to come after you a different way. Just because it's not reporting here doesn't mean you don't owe it. So now what are you going to do? Because now they're going to come away. They're going to come for your bank account. They're going to come for your house. They're going to come for something because they want that money. It's going to still reflect that somewhere. It's going to hurt you in the long run. I'm trying to do it that way.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, I know
Ju-
for me.
right before you
Oh,
jump
good,
in,
good.
man, still, I want to let everybody know where we are. Okay.
Hmm.
You are here with me, Miss Divine, with Divine Living, with Miss Divine. It's Saturday morning, y'all. It was 11 when we started, but now it's getting close to noon. It's getting close to noon. So with it being close to noon, that means that y'all missed most of the show. We're gonna be winding it up pretty close here now. But I know Men of Steel just did may hang out just a little bit longer if y'all have any other questions. But we're gonna be closing this up real soon. Real soon. So if you missed it, you missed it. But they might share a little more with you afterwards. But I'm here every Saturday. Every Saturday is a different dimension, and today is all about financial wellness. Go ahead, Men of Steel. Hopefully I didn't get you off track.
Well, I know for my credit, a couple years ago, I kept saying, man, I still owe this, I owe that, because sometimes it'll pop up on you. Because a lot of you guys don't know how many creditors there actually are. The main ones. But I didn't learn about credit really and how credit worked until I started selling cars years ago. And a lot of people, for you guys that's in here in the comments that may not be commenting, no credit is not good. If you have no credit, that is not good. If you don't have a credit history, credit just means that somebody loaned you money to do something and is showing your habits of paying it back.
Mhm.
That's what credit is. So if you're worried about your phone bill or your, cable bill and all of that, nobody loaned you money for that. You paid for a service and you didn't finish paying it. You can pay that off all day. Okay. But you're not showing that if we loan you money, that you're going to pay it back and pay it back in a timely manner and on time. That's all credit is. We trust you to pay us back. That's it. And when you do that consistently, your credit score almost cursed. Your credit score goes up. So it's going to be based on loans. I don't care if you get a loan for furniture. Somebody loaned you money and you have a track record of paying it back and paying it back on time. But for my credit, when I wanted to get stuff off my credit years ago, I put down everything that I owe and I wrote a letter, sent it to all the bureaus to dispute it. And I didn't do it online because I wanted somebody to physically get the letter, physically see it and do it. And I had 30 days to actually respond. Some of them couldn't respond within 30 days, so they took it off. But I still had to pay it because one of them that I didn't pay popped back up and popped right back up with my credit score.
Mm.
That thing that came off, my credit score just from that one thing went up 80 points. From that one. Went up 80 points. My credit got to a certain point from all the things that was taken off and I paid. Okay, great. But I forgot that one. It came back on and went down 90 points. You still owe the money. Don't get fooled by people saying, oh, you got over. We don't come from a history of getting over. We come from a history of overcoming. We don't get over, we overcome.
Mm.
That's where we come from. We need to get back to that. We find a way to make it through. That's what we do. We come up in our generation, your lights get cut off. Okay, we just get a neighbor $100. Yeah, take this extension cord and we get things done. So remember that just because it's taken off, like Danny said, you still owe the money. And from my personal experience, when I forgot to pay that I had taken off, it ended up back on my credit. And it dropped my credit, the points plus 10 that it made it go up when it was taken off. So be mindful of that. Don't think you're getting over. You still want to owe that money, but focus on the things that actually affects your credit. Rich people use debt all the time to become rich. All the time. They use the laws, bankruptcy, and everything else. Don't think you got to be perfect. Somebody else asked earlier about shopping to de-stress. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with that. You still got to give yourself a percentage in a budget. Again, you have to look at it like the answer isn't no. The answer is yes, but just not now.
Yeah.
It's just not now, but the answer is yes. It's not always no. We always want it when we want it, but it's not the right time. But the answer is yes. So be careful with the shopping. Give yourself a budget. If you want a higher budget, make more money. Now you have a higher budget. It's very important because that shopping thing is real. Most people are emotional shoppers.
Mm-hmm.
They're emotional. They'll leave. How many people go to the store and be like, I'm getting this one thing, and then they got a shopping cart? And they knew they were going to do it because they bought the shopping cart in the store, or they grabbed the shopping cart. You're getting soap out of. Why do you need a shopping cart? Because you know you about to fill that box. You about to fill that cart up. So give yourself a budget. Just be like, I know I want it. It's not no. It's yes, but just not right now. That's it. Be responsible with your money and believe that that money can accumulate. It's not going to be microwave success. You're not going to always be able to afford the things that you want right then and there. And I can guarantee you this. It's just like something I told my sister that just lost her kid's father to suicide. When she met him, I said, when you go to college, you're going to meet guys that have a certain stature. They have a certain type of future. When you go back home, you're not going to give those guys any attention because they're not doing it. It's the same thing when you save your money. You wanted this at this very moment. If you start being disciplined, by the time you're able to buy it, something else came out that you like that's better. So now instead of spending that money and struggling all the way through, now you have more money and you can actually get something that you really like that was better than the thing you would have sacrificed your money for. So always look at the discipline, the focus, and the consistency. That applies to everything, but definitely finances. Because I tell you this, somebody did an interview and said, if I knew I was going to live this long, he was 92. He said, I'd have took better care of myself.
Wow.
We don't want to live to say, I think any day now I could be gone. So I'm going to live life to the fullest every day. And then you live to be 92 with no money to show for it. No. Oh, another thing. If you're going to leave money, Danielle probably can elaborate on this. If you're going to leave money, leave it to your grandkids because they don't pay taxes on it. Your kids will.
Just real quick, because we coming to the bottom of the hour. Just Danny, tell me something that you want to leave the people with. Because we're going to close out Divine Living with Miss Divine, and we're going to hang out just a little while longer, but we've come to the bottom of the hour. Just give us a couple of nuggets that you just want to leave the people with.
Okay, a couple nuggets. Number one is stop trying to add your kids to your LLC before they're 18. That's one. Please stop trying to do that. They can't sign into no agreements. Please stop trying to do that. I've seen so many people come in with their kids on their LLC paperwork, and I'm like, they can't enter into a bank contract, no nothing. So please stop doing that. Keep them on the backhand until it's time. Another thing is please get your kids a state issued ID at the earliest age. And typically it's like about 8 years old that they can have an issued ID. So you can start opening up their savings account. That's all I'm gonna say. And then we can go into a little bit more, but those are my two things to take away.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. I know y'all got something because I got a lot of stuff. I didn't fill up a couple of sheets of paper. I want to say thank you to Just Danny, Man of Steel, Shimmer for coming in and just talking to us today about financial wellness, y'all. It's been an awesome, awesome show. They're going to hang out until my phone decides to die, and then we're going to do something else, baby. But I want to say thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Miss Divine. This is Divine Living with Miss Divine. You'll see me every single Saturday morning dealing with the 8. Diving into the 8 dimensions of wellness. Today was all about the financial wellness dimension. And I'm telling you, if you didn't hear me before when I posted on my Instagram where y'all supposed to be following me to it was Saturday Eve, and to bring your smooth writing pen, you missed what you needed to take with you. But I want to say thank y'all. And I'm going to close out with this. Without words, the speech cannot be heard. Without a voice, there's nothing to be said. Without sound, it's only left to be seen. And without them all, we're just beings without being a thing. Use your voice, y'all, to be the change. Use your voice to be the change. Those are my words, penned by me, Man of Steel. Penned by me. Use your voice to be the change. Use your voice. All right. And I'm saying out, we out. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Be well. Be well. We're not getting a thing. We're being it. Make it a thing that you are. We are being well here, y'all. Thank you for joining me. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
thank y'all. Let me see if I can get this phone not to die.